inability to berth and discharge vessels on time due to physical limitation at the port and access channel, as I said. One, the approach channel to the port of Banjul is restricted to 9.5 meters draft. What that means is, when you load a vessel, there is what they call the draft or the depth limitation. When you know how boats load, even if you look at our fishing vessels or these little canoes that travel Banjul Bara, when they load, the vessel seems to sink downwards. That's the draft. Now, these vessels, the port of Banjul, the only limitation it has is only 9.5 meters. That might sound deep, layman's term, but it's nothing in the shipping industry. That's a very shallow draft. The vessels we are bringing now into the Gambia, these modern vessels, they need a limitation of about 11, 12, 13, up to 15 meters depth. Now, imagine you load a vessel of 60,000 metric tons. It needs a draft of about 13 meters for it to be able to cross that channel. That's the access channel to the port of Banjul. And then the channel is naturally telling that vessel, I only have 9.5 meters. More than these 9.5 meters, you cannot cross the channel. Now, what do? We are painfully engaged in lightering that vessel. What that means is we have a vessel, another smaller vessel, we call it the daughter vessel, that will sail to the mother vessel at the high seas of the Gambia, and then load from the mother vessel and sail back to discharge. It has to do a number of trips. It depends on the quantity. Sometimes it will do 3, 4, and sometimes even 5 trips before that vessel is lightened enough so that it can sail safely to back with maybe 30,000 or 35,000 metric tons from 60,000 metric tons. So this is the real challenge that the country is facing. And we all have to appreciate the fact that JAWEL as a company, we all know, we have limitations in what we can do and what we cannot do. All we can promise to the people is to bring enough, adequate, and consistent supply to the country. Now, for that channel to be taken care of, to be able to handle these cargoes, that is not for JAWEL to do. That is where the GPA comes in. That is the Gambia Ports Authority. They have to maintain a saleable draft into Banjul. And this matter has been on for years. We've wrote a series of letters, several, re-echoing the need to draft the GPA, to dredge the Gambia Ports Authority so that it can facilitate the sale of vessels like our cement vessels and many other vessels that have restrictions. And it has been going on like this for years without answers until recently. Thank God, there is a credible tender document that is out there looking for people who can dredge that channel. And hopefully that tender is closing, I think, this month. Going forward, people also talk about the price hikes. These price hikes, I've talked about it several times, but I think as journalists, you owe it to the nation, you owe it to the citizen to go out there on a crusade to try to investigate and find the culprits. Because these are all man-made. They are not factual. They are not reflecting the realities in the market. Tell me what is the logic behind. You buy a bag of cement here for $390. Naturally, to go to Costa Road here, you should be able to pay $10 each bag to take you there. We are transporters too. We know what is the actual cost of a bag of cement to transport within the combos. $10 is the real cost of it. Now you have unscrupulous drivers sitting here, they're hearing me, and they are charging $30 to $35 per bag to go to Costa Road here. Even far out, next door by the main road, they charge $25. One bag of cement. Now, where's the logic? That same driver will transport a bag of cement here to Soma, Jara Soma, 200 kilometers away, for $30 per bag. Now, tell me, where's the logic? Where's the economic logic in that application? As a company, do we have power to do anything about that? Simply no. We are not government. We are not regulators. We can't do it. Even though it hurts us, just a few days ago, a few drivers came to my office, and I was talking to them about this, and I was telling them that, look, what you guys are doing is wrong. You are hoarding the people. What you are doing is wrong. You understand? And it has to stop. You cannot be charging people to far out of $25 per bag. When you have a trip to Soma, you charge $30 per bag. And you think you are hoarding us, trying to sabotage us in a way to raise this price of cement so that the population will heap the blame on us if they don't look through the actual fact. And you think you are doing good. That is not true. You understand? That is not okay. What you should do is, why should you be charging $25 to Farato next door? And then you charge to Jarasoma $30. That is one thing you journalists should embark on a crusade to save this country. Save it in the way that you let out the truth out there so that the population, the unsuspecting people who don't know the real cost of what is happening, will know the facts behind the scene. Now, putting that aside, let's go to the retailers. All of you here who know the history of this cement brouhaha must have known that there was a big battle that was fought over this. The cement industry is divided between two. Those who import across the border a 32.5 R cement, different from what we sell. What we bring in this country is 42.5 R, and everybody should know what's the difference. With that high quality of 42.5 is what every project in this country, your specs are. You cannot use the other one. Obvious reasons, because the qualities are different. Of course, the prices also must be different. Now you go to these retailers who are bringing the 32.5 R. When government came with an economic measure to say that as a nation, we also want our country to develop. We want our country to industrialize. We want to have more investors to come into this country with confidence that I can invest here without fearing that my investment will not be protected. On that note, we have 3 cement factories here producing cement, and I'll put it here. You understand? Before we let these companies to die, simply because some cheap cement is flowing into the country, you understand, without even paying the correct taxes at the border. At the end of the day, when we let this thing happen, these factories will die, and there are citizens, Gambian citizens working in them in their hundreds and thousands. What do we do to save it? They came with a measure, which every responsible government does. I recently went to Lagos. It was an ECOWAS Trade and Investment Summit. I was surprised. On the whole, these measures are not only akin to Gambia. It is every country within West Africa is applying it. It was made plain there because every speaker in that conference, happens to be one of them. I participated in the panel discussions. And it seems like every member country complains about the same thing. Protecting their own national industries. And because of that, these hawks of free movement of goods is non-existent. It's non-existent. Not in any member state. including Nigeria, as the headquarters of ECOWAS. They are having the same issues. You understand? So if the government comes with this measure, it's for the good of the country. And that has no way distorted the prices. But now, because of that battle of, they should let us continue doing what we are doing to the detriment of your national industries. And they are angry. They came with a scheme. And what is the scheme? They come into these factories. They buy the cement for $390. And they go down into their retail shops, those very people who are bringing these things across the border, and sell it for how much? $525 per bag. I even had some of them are selling it at $600 recently. The $600 is going to some very unscrupulous traders. If people are not saying this, you owe it to the people, as I call you in the beginning, as the eyes and ears of the country, to do your own findings and embark on a crusade to save the consumers. Yah Oil cannot be blamed for that. The very people we fought with, what we can do since we have lost the battle, let's make cement unaffordable to the population so that government will recapitulate. They would have only succeeded in that crusade if at all Yah Oil has raised its price to 600 or 500 or even 450. Then you can say, factually, yes, cement has become unaffordable. They let them bring in cement, but they are selling it at 500. But we are selling it at 390. They are the ones selling it at 600 or 500 plus. And you call that fair to the population? I think this is the most unpatriotic thing a Gambian should do to his fellow Gambian. And you stand in those so-called little social media platforms, those same people in their books, in their pages, and want to wear that shirt or that hat of patriotism who loves the country. But look at yourself. You are the one selling something to the population that they cannot afford. And now you shift that blame to Yah Oil. This is all because of Yah Oil. Please do justice to the people. Go and investigate what is bringing this market distortion. Go also from here, go to the ports and see. Google those two names of vessels and see whether actually what Mr. Hydra is saying, whether those vessels are in the seas of Gambia. And it will show you its exact position and coordinates where it is standing at sea. Apart from that also, go back and do your in-depth investigation. Every journalist should be a good investigator. Go in depth. Look at why this cement price is high. You'll be shocked to discover what causes it. It is a crusade against the consumers because they think in their own little minds, when we distort the price and make it unaffordable to the people, government will recapitulate. Governments don't operate that way. They don't operate that way. Once that distortion is not coming from Yah Oil, our price remains stable. Yesterday, day before yesterday, and today, with the same number on our invoices, you cannot blame us for that. Blame those retailers, those unscrupulous retailers who have connived among themselves that will make cement unaffordable. So that Gambians will shout. Of course, Gambians are shouting. They've succeeded in that. But is it fair? Very unfair. Do they deserve to be called patriotic Gambians? Obviously, no. And I can bet, you see, any business who is bent on making people cry, with your dishonesty and cheating habits, for your ulterior motives, watch it. They will melt right before our eyes here. I only hope they realize this and know this and backtrack on their crusade and return to Allah and do justice to the people. Munana molke nya kari jela buka jefo wenja halbaki. Menya ndakela wala ndim benga kambe. Nga kafunyo nga wuli jihadola pour ka make sure ko tilimbale ay bojam. And I tell journalists all drone so tilimbale ay bojam. Kata tilika diamu mole. Atilika ta molia kela moya. atel le su bonde hanal ma ke jawo la ko kama katun telo man tanake na price man fali barala ke mbadingol membe sirin jam melbe sorin si bento e ka wa mel keme woro al nga ki wala ko kam anu ñi mo dandawol membe ñinna i jama bal bi jeni jube me ya ko dimin na fam warandi ñi banko dingol fam banko dingol be kon sonda bari jamal be biye banko dingol fawonte alta kiskisiro la ngan kuke price control del ja oil ta keno pour ka fogo ha mbe price control le kala niya samol bulu keme saba tanko non dola iba wa fala keme nan nin dal ci tanela wala dal ci tanel lu man sa leo sembos man sa fana nyanta lola le ay kuke wo in crisis membe kirin crisis fulale horo la dinom balia kurungote dunnola wala buskul ngol candi ba ko no je be sirinje fanyo fana be kere nyinje sango la ñu wato ilafta jindiro ki la nyaamo kulumba ko no ita nola ikake wati la fanyo lota dami nim fanyo wulta ko te ye fanyo ko te ye batu fo ko le steady ko te yana start ko te obe amu ala la kero man kuno poro fana pride dino wotentel la do ko dum poro la do ko men nyantantel ma nga kele nga simendo nata nyama nga investment ke pour factory saba ntel mo kilimo nga na capacity bondi boto wuli keme lungo kuno nga sama fa boto wuli keme nani lungo kuno inshallah janni nyin sama banna kadum para fenya ta folotale ani boto keme luwolo ni alande lañ boto keme wuli keme to luwolo boto wuli keme fula luwolo ntel lañu factory flo mebe fara fenya ani njam wolle bo bondi ni nga nyin kutama do la ka mel ko boto wuli keme fula len woti abekala boto wuli keme nani Gambia to domonola. It's not possible. So tel nga nakato dango kele. Nga ko be kele. Bari fo mol fana wuli yela attentional focus mol kan melon ko leme taka nyama. Mel me taka nyama sabale. Driver masa kunda nyanta wulay regulate ani transport union. Banku ta keri memman tarifo soto. Hani Gambia jam fan Gambia Transport Union ye tarifo sodole bari yo tarifo am ndako yamudale sa ya fara ifan sun tarifo ini wala be do ko la say banku buka tawu nya o mu kilin fulan jaw iko simento mu essential commodity même mu essential wala ndi mo la suulobe mento wala price o masa kunda ka nyanda ka a regulate le wala ka hakilotu wato baaki ni tan ra jaawo len koy ko ale ñini ngal ka simendo wa fi jelam koy ko dal ci keme saba tank non ida ra rite la ya yelam investigation lol kije yesimendo sanje aje ko ya fa ma wuli keme lulu wala keme wor ñanda lolé simflo la ya fa bahani ñinde kala ima dalilo soto ima excuse soto ima hani fende soto membe keren no la wala ye control ya fa ko mukk Allah ritelo na tambi dañ nambe alamano la leka ya wel to ken wala fula nyaw saba nyaw ndel mu client wol ti poroto ja wel tati wala dino anala navigability with the proper draft wala ala kulol yanda dino men so la mo so la men wodantel la do koti o poro la do koti bari na safir jamal kile pour yo poro dinon ni ama so no bari be jikirin ko ñin silola itel fanay simfa kendol leta ye tendal ki bande be mol ñin kam melba poro ñin dinon nay ko do fang landi karala le so wala ne be jikirin ñin nal ko jani ba fa la january fo january be fal to bando bato do ko be kelal kat ye lahi do di wala andu nga kay do fa nanjele ya sa fe mel advertisement no ñin mbadi wol ñinem ko moti lafta men ko laal ma bi wala ñinti problème be kéré jaawel la problème to ali nga ndamangol fana njube ba kon atel dum mealo nga atel Gambia nyaati atel la tulol ti atel ka sindima alta kisi lola ale tonya itandi mol la wala fi siada mol be siri la plateforme to yo do mo roki foy kono faat hani journalist o fontete de ibe ila miral kumol fula men diate ba fula bari me mira nyin nako isi wo keno le kadu be démocratie le kon ani freedom o bari ye kuma kan bondi idakuna ala be skit ala be ikiti ni la anni hana do yata nyaawo nyaaya la mon kan ini ala be kiti la wala na mol si mira ko bibe sotorin bibe diaring adiamo be diari fe bari wati be sot lay be konti bolal mol si haklo to ba